Good day everyone. For our part, the first theories we will be discussing is Imogene King. She is best known for her conceptual system and the theory of goal attainment. Basically, her work focuses on how nurses and patients interact, set goals together, and work hand in hand to actually achieve those goals. It's all about communication, mutual understanding, and active participation from both sides. We will go through how her theory is structured and why it is very practical in real nursing situations. Before we begin, here are the objectives of our lesson. First is to explain the concepts of Imogene King's conceptual system and theory of goal attainment. Second is to analyze how the theory applies to the nursing meta-paradigm and nursing process. And lastly, to illustrate the practical application of the theory in patient care. Imogene King, a renowned nursing theorist, introduced the theory of goal attainment, which emphasizes nurse-patient collaboration through mutual goal setting and achievement. This theory highlights how therapeutic relationships can enhance patient outcomes and overall well-being. At its core is the dynamic interpersonal relationship where nurses and patients work together to establish health-related goals within three interacting systems: the personal, interpersonal, and social systems. A key aspect of King's theory is empowering patients by involving them in decisions about their care. This strengthens their autonomy, builds self-esteem, and encourages ownership of their health, leading to better compliance and wellness. Effective communication is central, meaning nurses must actively listen and understand patient perceptions, concerns, and aspirations. By aligning care with the patient's values and preferences, nurses can set realistic and attainable goals, building trust and collaboration. When patients feel heard and respected, they are more likely to engage actively in their care, improving health outcomes. A therapeutic relationship marked by trust, empathy, respect, and genuineness provides a safe space for patients to share goals and motivations. By incorporating patients' values and beliefs, nurses help create meaningful goals that increase the likelihood of success. Overall, King's theory promotes a holistic approach to nursing care where interaction and communication drive goal attainment.
Imogene King got led into her induction into the American Nurses Hall of Fame and influenced nursing education and practice globally. Her work focused on a nurse-patient relationship and goal setting within personal, interpersonal, and social systems.
Next, let's talk about the theory of goal attainment. This is a grand theory in nursing, meaning it gives a broad framework that guides practice without going into very detailed steps. The theory focuses on the partnership between the nurse and the patient. Through communication, they set health goals together and take actions to reach them. Nursing is seen as action, reaction, and interaction, not just doing things for the patient but working with them. Factors like roles, stress, space, and time also affect this process. When both sides agree and act on shared goals, transactions happen. And this leads to goal attainment and satisfaction. For example, if a patient with diabetes wants to control blood sugar, the nurse and patient can agree on a goal like walking 30 minutes daily. By planning it together and following through, both achieve the goal, and that's exactly what this theory is about. After understanding the main ideas of the theory, let's talk about its assumptions and propositions. The assumptions are like the foundation. King believed that every person has the right to know about their condition and be part of the decision making. The role of the nurse is to guide and help the patient make informed choices. She also pointed out that sometimes the goals of the nurse and patient may not fully match, but that's part of the process of working together. The propositions explain how things actually connect. When the nurse and patient see things the same way, transactions happen. These transactions then lead to goals being achieved, and once the goals are met, both the nurse and patient feel satisfied and care becomes more effective. For example, a patient recovering from surgery may think resting is enough while the nurse knows early walking is important. When both talk it through and agree on short walks each day, they share the same perception, make a plan, and achieve the goal together. That's exactly what King meant in this theory. Now, we move to King's three interacting systems. First, the personal system focuses on the individual, how a person thinks and feels about themselves and their health. For example, a patient who feels weak after an illness may see themselves as unable to recover quickly. Next, the interpersonal system deals with relationships, especially between the nurse and patient. It highlights communication and interaction. For instance, when nurse explains treatment clearly and listens to the patient's concern, they work together more effectively. Lastly, the social system. It refers to the larger environment where care takes place, like hospitals or communities. For example, a hospital program that provides free health education sessions helps both nurses and patients reach health goals. If we're going to combine the application of the systems, for instance, in the case of a patient with high blood pressure, the personal system is how they view their condition. The interpersonal system is them working with a nurse to plan regular monitoring, and the social system is the clinic providing blood pressure checks and follow-ups. On the previous slide, we explained the three interacting systems of King's theory. For this part, we will focus on the main concepts that make up each system. The personal system is about the individual. It includes perception, self-growth and development, body image, learning, coping, and how a person experiences time and space. In short, it shows how a person understands themselves and their health. The interpersonal system is about relationships between people. It covers communication, interaction, roles, stress, and transactions. This system explains how the nurse and patient work together through effective connection. Lastly is the social system. The social system is the larger environment where care happens. It involves organization, authority, power, status, and decision-making. This guides how healthcare is structured and how goals are achieved. Now that the core ideas are clear, we will apply King's theory using the nursing meta-paradigm. We will start with person. In King's theory, the person is viewed as a unique and whole human being, capable of perceiving, thinking, feeling, making choices, setting goals, and decisions. For example, consider a 45-year-old patient newly diagnosed with hypertension. The nurse first learns how the patient understands the illness, listens to their concerns about lifestyle changes, and together they set a personal goal like reducing salty food intake. Here, the person's own perception and choices guide the process of care. Next, let's move to the second meta-paradigm, which is health. In King's theory, health is not just the absence of illness but a changing experience throughout life. It means being able to adjust to stressors inside or outside the body and making use of resources to live daily life at the best level possible. Stress, adaptation, and interactions influence health, while illness can disturb this balance. Going back with our 45-year-old patient with hypertension, health means learning to handle stress, making lifestyle adjustments, and using support like regular checkups and guidance from the nurse. This helps the patient keep blood pressure under control and continue with normal daily activities. Let's move to the third meta-paradigm, which is environment. In King's theory, the environment is basically the setting where people interact. It's an open system, which means a person is always connected to and affected by what's around them. The internal environment is what happens inside the body, while the external environment includes things like home, work, and even healthcare systems. The nurse is also part of this environment and has a direct influence on the patient's experiences and decisions. Going back again with our patient with hypertension, the environment includes stress from work, family routines at home, and the healthcare team supporting them. By being part of that environment, the nurse helps guide changes like encouraging less salty meals at home or teaching stress relief techniques that fit into the patient's daily life. So far, we have seen how King's theory applies to the meta-paradigm of person, health, and environment. Together, this showed that the purpose of the theory is to guide how nurses and patients work as partners, while its significance lies in improving communication, shared decision-making, and better health outcomes. Now, let's go to the last meta-paradigm, which is nursing. In King's view, Nursing is a process of action, reaction, and interaction between the nurse and the patient. It is about building transactions through communication, setting mutual goals, and then taking steps to reach those goals. Nursing here is not just about giving care, but about forming a partnership that leads to satisfaction for both nurse and patient. For our patient with hypertension, nursing means more than giving instructions. It involves the nurse and patient agreeing on goals like regular blood pressure checks or small lifestyle changes and working on them together. Through this interaction, the nurse supports the patient in achieving better control of their condition.
This is an interaction that is done to achieve mutual goals, which leads to satisfaction and improved health. This process involves a nurse and patient interactions to perceive the situation, resulting in a transaction where goals are agreed and worked towards. This approach varies prompts that attain the desired health outcomes.
In conclusion, Imogene King's theory of goal attainment describes nursing as a dynamic, collaborative process between a nurse and a patient. The core idea is that both individuals work together to define and achieve shared health goals. This partnership is built on effective communication, where the nurse and patient exchange information and perception to understand each other.
This is the case of Trixie Cruz, female, 56 years old, diagnosed with type 2 diabetes mellitus a week ago. T2DM or type 2 diabetes mellitus is a chronic condition where the body either does not use insulin effectively or insulin resistance, or does not produce enough of it to keep blood sugar levels normal, leading to high glucose in the blood. It can be managed through healthy lifestyle changes, medications if needed, and regular monitoring to lower the risk of complications. After learning about her condition, Mrs. Cruz became anxious and delayed her checkup. She is now here for consultation and management of her illness. Good morning po, Miss Cruz, Miss Sheila. Please take a seat. So, results po, your test result here, and they show that you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Don't worry, we will explain what it means and how it can overcome it. Mrs. Cruz, I know this is overwhelming, but you're not alone. We will guide you step by step through proper diet, exercise, and treatment, so you can still live a healthy life. Please come back tomorrow so we can start your management plan. Sounds good?
Good morning, Mrs. Cruz. I'm Nurse Cruz. makakilala kayo ng ibang tao who are successfully managing their condition. It's going to be hard at first, pero kung kaya ng iba, kaya niya rin. Talking to them can lessen anxiety. I also prepared some educational pamphlets for you to take out.
Really, mas okay pala if I know I'm not the only one going through this.
We will go to your first meeting, Mom. Sama ko na rin sila. I know it's hard to be optimistic in life again, despite your condition.
Thank you, nurse. Kanina, I felt so lost and anxious. But now, I feel like I can actually do this with my family support and your guidance.
That's exactly our goal. This is goals. Step by step for the achievement goals.
Hi, guys.
Nurse, sinunod namin yung meal plan and Sheila always joins me for our evening walks. I also attended to the diabetes support groups. Ang dami kong natutunan and I feel less anxious now. Mas alam ko nang i-manage yung sakit ko.
Yes, nurse. We help her meal and track her sugar together. And I can see that she's more active now and motivated. Thank you, nurse.
It's wonderful progress, Mrs. Cruz. This shows that the goals we set together were realistic and effective. You've proven that you can manage your own health. Great job, Bob. Sana ipagpatuloy niyo po. Kung may katanungan po kayo, pumunta lang po kayo. Assistant niyo.
Thank you, nurse. Before, I felt so pessimistic. But now, I feel more confident and in control. Susubukan ko lahat ng way para magkaroon ng healthy lifestyle because I have family and they need me. I feel less anxious now because of your approach.